Hi everybody. This is my video, which is telling about my first trimester experience. So this is also my little pregnancy announcement. Yeah, so officially as of today, I'm 17 weeks along. And yeah, so well, what first happened is I had missed my cycle, as you do, and I was really nervous to take a test. I just didn't want it to be negative, so I ended up waiting like about a week or so after my expected date of my cycle to start. And when I finally took the test, my husband was sitting in the living room, and I was like, okay, set the timer, blah, blah, blah. And I looked down like 10 seconds later, and I'm like, we don't need the timer, it's super positive. Which was so exciting, and we were both like thrilled. And then I got severe morning sickness. That was the main symptom that I had throughout the whole first trimester, which was really difficult for me. I had kind of expected that I would get nausea and everything because I kind of have GI issues normally, so I had always like anticipated that, but the experience of it was really mentally exhausting. I mean, obviously physically it was hard too, but I had it really bad, and for the first couple of weeks I was keeping like barely anything down, and I had a lot of food aversion. Like nothing tasted right, and it felt like chewing, like nothing, like just like eating didn't feel normal, which was also really disorienting. And I would go from one day I can eat something to the next day like I can't even look at it. So it was really hard those first couple weeks, like trying to come up with things to eat. And then finally I was just like desperate for some kind of intervention. I had tried taking ginger chews, and I was trying my best to stay hydrated because there was times where I couldn't hold down water, which was really difficult. It basically made it really hard for me to feel connected or excited about the whole thing. It was like I had one day of excitement, and then just the way that the nausea hit, it kind of robbed me of all excitement. I was kind of like, what have I done? Like, this is just impossible. How am I gonna do this? And there was a lot of crying, and then one of my friends told me about Unisom, which is actually a sleep aid, but it's an antihistamine, and it can be really helpful, and it's commonly recommended. So I was taking one Unisom tablet and a half of like 50 milligrams of vitamin B6 every night, and that honestly was like a night and day difference as far as like intensity. It didn't completely get rid of the nausea, but it was so much more manageable, and it basically did get rid of the food aversions because it was just so impossible to find anything to eat, but I was hungry and I felt better if I was eating, but with half of it not tasting good and everything making me throw up, it became really hard to get myself to eat. And so the food aversions being gone, like, made things a lot easier. There was still definitely hard days, and I would still cry, like, and be like, why? Why is this? Like, every day I was nauseous, but it was so much less than without the medication. So that was really my lifesaver as far as getting through. When I originally was pregnant, or found out I was pregnant, I was working, and it was a standing, really high-paced job, or fast-paced job, and I ended up having to quit suddenly because the nausea was so bad. I couldn't maintain going in, and so thankfully my husband was able to provide for us. So my husband was able to provide for us and handle everything, and my main focus literally was just sleeping. Another symptom that I had was really intense sensitivity to light, like artificial light, but also just light from outside. So I kind of would joke that I was living like a vampire because I would need to have like basically no light coming in. I would try to like let some light in, but if it hit me with that like white bright light, it just gave that feeling of kind of like I was gonna get a migraine and I just couldn't look at it. And so a lot of my first trimester was just like in the dark, in my house, trying to pass the time. I had no motivation to do anything. I got tired really fast. I'm not usually someone who takes naps, and I was falling asleep, like, just scrolling through my phone, which was really strange. And then some days I had no, or a lot less fatigue, and I was able to stay awake the whole time, but there was lots of napping, and sometimes I would just try to go to sleep to, like, make the day pass, because I just felt so uncomfortable. Emotionally, it was a really difficult time, just being sick all the time and being isolated. And it was interesting because some days I'd get sick like 5 times that day, and I'd be fine. And then the next day I'd get sick once and I'm like crying. Like, it was just very day by day emotionally different. Like, some days I was like, this is fine, I can handle this. It's not that bad, or it is, but it's gonna be okay. And then other days were just really difficult to get through. And I have an awesome husband, and he was there for me every time that he could be. If he was home, even if it was the middle of the night, he would come sit with me while I was throwing up. So as much as he wasn't experiencing it, it felt like he was there with me, you know? It made me feel like less alone. And he would just talk through it, and he was super understanding when I'd be like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, I don't want to do this. Like, there was just a lot of mental challenge involved, and he was really accepting of just everything that came up. As far as other symptoms, really those were the main ones. A lot of the morning sickness was a lot. It was really difficult to deal with that. The main things that helped was, like I said, the medication. And then once I was feeling better enough to like hold food down, just eating frequently and not letting myself get hungry was the next helpful thing. But there were just some days where it was like, it didn't matter. It was just gonna be a bad day. As far as that, fatigue was the next one, which didn't bother me that much. Like it didn't affect me, but I was different. I was definitely needing more sleep and just exhausted. But the emotional effects of the nausea were a lot worse on me than the effects of the fatigue. And just feeling very bizarre about the whole thing. Like, it just brought up a lot of feelings that I didn't expect. A lot of discomfort with the whole idea, even though this child is very wanted. The sickness definitely made me feel like I didn't want it. But it was more that I didn't want to be sick, not that I didn't want the baby. And there was just fear that things weren't going okay, or if I had a day where I wasn't as sick, I would feel nervous. Like, if I wasn't having symptoms that day, I was nervous that the baby wasn't doing okay. So then I would be wanting the symptoms back, which was just a bizarre mindset. Moving into my second trimester, things have gotten a lot better as far as the nausea goes. I'll have to do another video at the end of the second trimester, but baby is healthy and was healthy, and it was so awesome getting to see the baby on the ultrasound. Really exciting. We're so excited, and so I just wanted to share my experience to help some other people. I know that can be really helpful. So if you enjoyed or learned anything, please like this video and support my channel. Okay, goodbye.